And welcome to the entire panel. We want to start off with Ms. Patel, asking you to tell us about the Shell NXplorers program. Ms. Patel?
Hi, yes, sure. So our NXplorers program was introduced to NIHERST and to Shell Trinidad and Tobago from a global perspective. It's a global program that addresses the food, water, and energy nexus. And the intent is really to help equip our future generations of students to be problem solvers, to be leaders, and to be innovators, to be able to tackle the energy challenges that face us all in the future.
And from you moving to Ms. Superville, thank you. Thank you so much for that, though. What is the Shell Stream program? And how is the partnership with NIHERST and Shell impacting Trinidad and Tobago?
Sure. Well, NIHERST has been partnering with Shell over the last 2 years in execution of this Shell Stream program. And for those of you who may not be aware, STREAM stands for the Science, Technology, Research, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics. And NIHERST would have been partnering with Shell in order to strengthen their energy sector talent pipeline, as well as to assist the country's diversification efforts. This program would have attracted and would have been done to promote awareness to students, as well as to attract them to the STREAM subjects, hoping to retain them in STREAM careers and to become innovators. So we would have been partnering with Shell on camps, club activities, as well as competitions such as the NXplorers program.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that R in the stream in terms of research, because sometimes it feels as though all the answers should come out of our head and they're not necessarily grounded in anything, but you have a feeling or you have a vibration. But time to talk to some of those winners. Aydin Ali, Cowen Hamilton Secondary. I want to say congratulations. And let's start off by getting the names of your team members. Thank you.
Good night. My team members were Sarah Ransomer, Varun Ramdial, Ariel Pachico, and myself.
And with that, what was your team's project about? Your winning project, rather?
Our project was based on the food, water, and energy nexus. My team members and I represented the prestigious Cowen Hamilton Secondary School, and our team created a self-watering vertical garden utilizing rainwater, which was powered with wind energy. We applied the systems thinking strategies that we were educated with from the Shell NXplorers program, and decided to go with an idea that will be sustainable and economical to all members of our community.
And I like the fact that you said that you would have learned things from the NXplorers program that you were able to use. Now, what are some of those things that you would have learned from the program?
We learned the connection circle tool and the perspective circle tool. The perspective circle tool is about getting different views and opinions from stakeholders in your community.
All right, and with that, we want to say congratulations once again, Aydin, and we move to Kaveer. Kaveer, Phillip, and what was your winning project about? Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you and good evening. So my idea was based on a carbon capture filter that attaches to the vehicle exhaust system. And this was based on the energy nexus. So it was, how can we transfer to net zero future without negatively affecting our energy sector? And I have the model I actually used for the program. So this attaches to the end of the vehicle, right? And this represents the muffler. So the user, this remains fixed to the vehicle, so the user simply has to remove the filter, and the way the filter works is that the emission, the gas, enters into the filter and comes into contact with the chemical absorbent, and the CO2 is removed. It is absorbed into the absorbent, and then the stripped gas is exited. So it initially allows them to make their personal contribution to achieving net zero.
And now, the way that you just rattle that off, Kaveer, it sounds very easy. But what was the inspiration? How did you actually say, well, this is a problem that I want to tackle?
Oh, so the inspiration actually came from, we're seeing that the temperatures have been rising in the country, and we're seeing that climate change is a very important topic. So my inspiration came from everyone wants to make a change and make a difference. So with this filter, everyone can attach to their vehicle and make their personal contribution to reducing their carbon footprint.
Now, I'm very happy that we have one of the guests in studio, and Ms. Superville, I see you nodding your head. And how do you feel when you actually get the feedback from this gentleman?
Yes, because the whole point of our STREAM initiative, the collaboration between Shell, is really to provide the tools that are necessary to solve problems, to build capacity and capability in science, technology, engineering, and research capabilities in order for them to solve our problems. And Kaveer mentioned climate change. Climate change is a big issue. We know that just today, leaders around the world sitting to talk about COP 2026, you know, and the grand statements that Barbados Prime Minister would have made that increase in 2 degrees Celsius is detrimental to some countries within the Caribbean region. So for our students to be recognizing those issues and have the tools that are necessary to solve some of those problems, we definitely know we're on the right track here.
But being on that right track and having students engage with the programs, how do secondary or tertiary students get involved with a program like this, Ms. Superville?
Well, they can send an email to shell.bookings@nihirst.gov.tt. Look out for some of our up-and-coming, the additional cycles to this competition. Follow NIHERST on our social media platforms, as well as look at our website, www.nihirst.gov.tt.
And we will actually be sharing that information in terms of how individuals can reach out to NIHERST, how it is you can get involved and engage. I really like the idea of STREAM, because before I heard STEAM, which was the inclusion of art, but
Yes.
saying, okay, well, STREAM, this is something that we can work with. And looking at that, Ms. Patel, systems thinking, scenario planning, theory of change. We had Ms. Superville talk about COP26 and seeing that, making that link. How important to you is it that we make that link between things that we learn, be it in class or in a grouping like NIHERST, and be able to use it in the practical world? So it's not just something that, well, it's nice to learn something.
Correct. And I think that's the foundation of STEM education. It's about practical learning, it's hands-on learning. So it's how do you apply the concepts that you learn in the classroom into your everyday life, whether it be at home or within our society or at your future career, with your future career. So the whole idea of our STEM programs and our STREAM programs now, I should say, and with NXplorers is really just to help our younger people to develop those transferable skills, those fit for the future skills, as NXplorers will help with that, and just helping to create lasting value for our society in the future as well. It plays a really big role in how we're going to solve problems like climate change. This is just really about equipping them and teaching them and giving them the tools to be able to succeed in the future.
Totally agree with that, and I actually wanted to NIHERST's horn, because it seems as though this is something that NIHERST has been involved in from the get-go, making learning fun, seeing how learning can apply to everyday life, practical learning. Well, we continue the conversation when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are speaking about the Shell NXplorers program, and I want to actually go into, we're speaking with Kelli-Marie Patel, External Relations Advisor for Shell Trinidad and Tobago Ltd. And let's stay with you for a moment, please, Ms. Patel. So we spoke about practical learning just before we went to the break. What are some of those other things that we're looking at in terms of moving forward? One of them, I think, is creating that change. And some others are exploring and moving forward. So how do we involve some of our young children to do some of these things in another way?
So I would say with the STREAM program and with the NXplorers program as well, it's all about project-based learning, if that's where you're coming from. So really the best way for them to learn some of these concepts and to really understand the tools that we are sharing with them to create that critical thinking skill within their education. It's just how do they apply this to everyday projects that they can come up with, and we push them and we encourage them to look at these problems that we face in our own societies, whether it's around climate change, whether it's around access to water or access to energy within a community, a rural community. And you would have seen it from Aydin and from Kaveer with their ingenious innovations. And that's the whole idea of this. It's just to really push our students and our future generations to be innovative in the way they think, the way they act, and the way they approach the problems that they come up and that they are faced with at home and within their careers, within society, and within the future.
But it feels as though this is something that Shell really resonates with. Why is it so important that you be part of this change in terms of bringing the youth forward in this way?
So it's really simple for us. STEM education is preparing our future workforce. So even though they may not go into the fields of engineering, we are actually helping them pursue, whether it's sciences or technology-based education. It's not just about the subject matter, it's about really influencing them and helping them to develop those critical thinking skills that will actually help them in the future, whether it's a career with Shell or it's a career within the industry or in any avenue that they choose. But it's really about developing our local talent pipeline, not just for our company, but for the industry and for our society.
All right, and Aydin, I don't know what you want to do when you finish school. Right now you're at Cowen Hamilton, but how did you feel when you and your teammates got the news that you all were winners?
Well, we were astounded to be winners because we worked really hard on our project, and that
And it seems as though that hard work brought the results. And I'll also want to ask you the same thing, please, Kaveer. Kaveer, you are from the tertiary category. Is this something that you're involved with in terms of these kind of subjects at school?
Yeah, so I'm currently in my final year of chemical engineering. So I really want to work on carbon capture systems in the future. So that's kind of why I chose this idea for the NXplorers program. So it kind of meshed well.
Now, final year is a time where you're writing papers and stuff. Is this something that you think you're going to be building on?
Actually, a component of my final year project has a carbon capture unit in it. So it's something I really look forward to.
And these kind of partnerships, Ms. Superville, how important, what kind of impact it is you see with NIHERST and be them tertiary level institutions, possibly even secondary level institutions, as well as companies like Shell that are looking to develop the younger generation in this way?
His mandate in terms of building the capacity and capability of students and the society as a whole in science and technology in order to solve problems, as well as assisting to move towards the National Development Strategy, the government's Vision 2030, as well as in our country's efforts towards the Sustainable Development Goals, which speaks to building the skills, building that workforce-ready skills of our population, and that includes innovation, creativity, problem solving, communication skills. And we see the partnerships as really a powerful way for us to make progress towards those goals.
And Ms. Patel, how did you feel when you got the feedback of so many entries from, I think it was 12 secondary schools and the 3 universities?
I mean, we were incredibly excited to just have such high participation. We were really seeking to engage as many students as we possibly could, because we think it's a very exciting opportunity for them, not just for the prizes, but for the actual learning opportunity that they would have had. The hands-on approach, the one-on-one mentoring. We even had Shell staff who would have participated as mentors for the students in their groups, but also as part of the judging panel for the competition. So it really, it allowed us to bring Shell to the students in a different way through those projects and that project-based learning.
And you said that you might not have anyone who may go to work at Shell in the future, but did you see from the people that you would have interacted with, people who were mentored, any bright sparks that you said, hey, we might want to get them into the program, you know?
They were all incredibly intelligent, and they had some really innovative ideas. I mean, obviously the winners would have spoken for themselves, but I think the entire portfolio put forward by the students, all the different entries that we received, really impressed the judging panel, and it was not an easy competition for them to select any one winner, but it was quite impressive to see what came out of the entries.
And I want to ask you, Ms. Superville, what are some of the other projects or learning projects that NIHERST has? Because Ms. Patel would have spoke to the fact that having projects, having competitions, having people working towards something, it spurs that learning, and those competitive juices sometimes give the impetus to go forward. So what are some of the other things that NIHERST has on tap?
Well, NIHERST, like Shell, also has club activities. We also have camp activities and would have been doing so virtually over the period. One of the benefits of partnering with Shell is that we are able to offer certain components for free, you know, versus us still trying to raise money to ensure that we are able to continue programs. So we collaborate on the club activities, we continue to do camps, we also do a different series of various competitions for primary, secondary, as well as for tertiary level students. We provide internship opportunities, some of them also in collaboration with Shell. We have a Seismology in Schools initiative, which raises the awareness and the importance of the geosciences as well. But generally, the focus is really building the capacity and capability of those students to build those 21st century skills, those skills that are necessary for workforce-ready students who would not only promote or who would not only stay in a stream or STEM career, but can become innovators, entrepreneurs, you know, utilizing the science and technology to invent and to market whatever invention they come up with as well.
And with that, I think it's time for some closing remarks from you, please, Ms. Patel.
Yes, sure. This was one of the first cycles of the NXplorers program, and we are very happy with the success that we've had so far. We look forward to cycle 2 of NXplorers, and we really do hope that we can continue to have such high engagement from our students, both at the tertiary and secondary level. Given we are operating under constraints with COVID and with hybrid learning in classrooms, so we really just look forward to cycle 2 and similar successes, and I just really want to congratulate Kaveer and Aydin again for their own success in the first cycle of NXplorers. And hopefully they'll be able to contribute to the next cycle with their own feedback and guidance to the new students.
Well, I think they're going to be telling their friends and teammates, or well, people who did not participate in this one, you need to look out for the next one and don't be left out. But we want to thank you so much, Kelli-Marie Patel. We want to thank you, Lovaan Superville, as well as Kaveer, Phillip, and Aydin Ali, and most of all, thank you from the entire TTT News team for tuning in. This has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant.